All right. Today I just wanted to demonstrate a few concepts that are in the ebook. Uh, one of that one one of those things is actually the pump and dump model. So here to the right, I'm just gonna do some drawing here. And these are actually the only two steps, excuse me, two setups that I will look for to trade. Let's see. Boom. One of those setups is a pump and dump template. So step one, I would need a peak formation low, which that can be a day, a session, or even an hour. Now I get this question a lot. How do I identify these setups? I still look for signal days and I still follow the weekly template. Um, but if you want to be quite simple, you can just look at the high or low of the day and week. We are currently at the low of the week on gold. So we could possibly get a dump and pump model. Usually, when they complete a pattern, they will go right into the next pattern. What do I mean by that? After the pump and dump is complete and they have taken out the stops, this is what you can see happen. They can turn around and dump and pump. And this will also be on the backside of the day, backside of the session, the price action, just in general. I'm looking for a pump and dump or dump and pump model because whether that's a trend trade or reversal trade, those are the only two setups we could possibly ever get. Now, I also wanted to get on here just to show you guys how repetitive these models are, just to give some examples. Let's go to a Forex pair. Let's go to UJ. And I'm just gonna go sideways briefly and just discuss, showcase how many times a trader could have taken a trade in the last 2 weeks, whether that was pump and dump or dump and pump, any session. So once again, I am counting to three. That could be 3 days, 3 sessions, um, 3 hours. And just let me know if you guys can still hear me very clearly and see the screen. Just put a three in the chat. Good, good. Perfect. Okay. So this is UJ. I'm not sure why my trading view is doing that. That's why I asked. But right off the bat, if I'm trading Asia, I need a P formation in New York and London. If it's a dump and pump specifically, I need a London high and a New York low. Uh, do make sure that your mics are muted. Because there's quite a few people in here. But I need a London high and a New York low for a Asia dump and pump trade. Now I get this question a lot too. Where's the target? The target is always where that dump or pump began. So targets could have been placed here. Targets could have also been placed at the breakout level because this was a closing breakout. Or you're just targeting 50 pips. It really doesn't matter. But what do they turn around and do the very next day? Now they do give a dump and pump the very next day with a peak formation low in Asia, a high in London. They finally go backside. So I have step one, step two, step three in the beginning of a rollover for the collapse. Now they give new lower lows for the further collapse, but this is a larger setup. This is a 1, 2 backside, lower lows. 3, pump and dump template, but it's a larger 3-day pattern, which is why we got the fast collapse on the way down. But once again, I can scroll day by day and find these setups over and over and over. For instance, if I'm trading Asia, I need a peak formation high in London and a low in New York. I do not get that. London is my high and low. So that is actually potentially my step 1 and step 2. But in this scenario, I don't get the textbook. Whoops. 1, 2, 3. So what do I do? Absolutely nothing. I get this question a lot. Hey, Snipe, what do you think about this pair? Hey, Snipe, what do you think about that pair? Oh, I think this one is setting up. Oh, I think this one's looking good. And I don't even have my 3 steps. But if that trader was to wait over 3 days, I have a step 1 on Tuesday. Is this Tuesday? One sec, let me check. Thursday, excuse me. Step 1 on Thursday. Step 2 on Friday, peak formation high. Backside, 1, 2, lower lows, 3. And again, I get this question a lot. Where and how do I enter these trades? The majority of these trades will actually come off of a level, but after my step 3, they will pull back and simply give me a engulfing or pin hammer, and I will just take that trade back where? To where the pump or dump began. So I can even go to a pair such as USCAD, and I'm doing Forex because Forex is the friendly version of what I want to present. These actually present on any pair anywhere. Uh, but to some, this is just a bunch of random price action. To me, I see and I'm just going to draw my 2 models here first. The only 2 models that I would trade, that is a dump and pump or a pump and dump. And this is once again what I demonstrate here in the ebook. And it is quite simple. Now, in the ebook, I don't go into a whole bunch of science. Now, some may actually be underwhelmed because they're expecting me to break down 50,000 steps and answer 50,000 questions when there's only 1 or 2 setups that you can trade, whether that's trend or reversal. So 1, I already see a dump and pump model here, and I see a pump and dump model here right after that. Then another dump and pump model right after that. Then another pump and dump model right after that. Then another bigger pump and dump model right after that. Then another dump and pump model right after that. And then it just continues and goes on and on and on. Then another pump and dump model right after that. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Now, if you're trading New York, one sec, I'll get to the chat box below. But if you're trading New York, I need Asia and London to set up my box. If I'm trading Asia, I need New York and London to give me my box. If I'm trading London, I need, Asia. I can't talk right now. If I'm trading Asia, I need London and New York to give me my box. Now, I may have just said the same thing twice, but point of the matter, whatever session you're trading, look back 2 sessions. But I will also say this. You will have your regular 3 session setup where it's 1, 2, 3.
But shut up.
One
My
second.
bad.
Mute your mics 1 second, because trust me, I'm gonna answer every question right after. You can get your regular 3 session, 1, 2, 3, or it will be 4 sessions because of a closing breakout. The closing breakout is your pump or dump. So the majority of you may have heard of New York to New York or Asia to Asia, because you can get that as well, or London to London. What that is the pump starts the previous day, which this is actually a larger 3 day setup. But within this 3 day setup, we have a 3 session setup, a one, which is your range, backside, higher highs on the backside for our dump and pump template. But on the actual day here, mind you, I actually did take this trade. I was unfortunately stopped out at break even because I moved my stop slightly early. But point of the matter, my process into getting into this trade was simply counting the peak formations. I do not read the price action. I do not try to figure out the pushes, the zigzags, and where it's going. I am specifically, if I'm trading New York, counting to 3, whether that's from the previous day, 1, 2, 3, or
Somebody order something? Did you guys order these? Jeff must have did.
1 second. Make sure your mics are muted, or whether that's the same day, such
Oh, my
as
bad, bro.
London, New York, or for the dumping pump, Asia, London. New York can take it out still, but there was still higher highs on the inside. There was still a step 3. They still went back to where the dump began. Here's another example of a dump that started the previous day, but this was a setup for London, New York, Asia, higher highs in London, pull back, end of the session, 4th hour, pump, heading into the New York session, back where? Back where the dump started. So I get a lot of questions about entries. Uh, I can actually fix that right now. I'm looking at the chat box. Let me just do that. Good. So I get a lot of questions about entries. And a lot of traders may actually be underwhelmed of the answer. And the answer is the actual setup, the pattern. That is your entry into the market. I do not come to the screen and randomly pick a pair and randomly try to fix the market to where I can just enter that market for no reason. If I am entering a market, it is because I have a 1, 2, 3, which means I need step 3 first before I can even enter the market. There are traders that are reading the price action and they're getting confused on how to enter a market. And then there's traders that are following a specific criteria, a specific setup, and that specific criteria and setup is their entry. Every single time, it's either this, or every time, it's either this. Now, I had a discussion with one of the members in the Discord, I want to say a week ago, last weekend, Musa. And I told him, I'm gonna challenge myself and stick to one side the whole week. And that's exactly what I did. Last week, I traded dump and pump models the entire week without changing. Now, for some traders, that's hard to do because they're trying to buy the first green day, sell the first red day, sell the inside day, buy the closing breakout. They're trying to do everything instead of doing one thing. So for last week on this pair, how many pump and dump setups were there? Now, just off of the eye here, I'm just gonna give you guys the answer. Here's one on Monday. Here's another one for Wednesday. And then there's a low hanging fruit pump and dump model the following day on Thursday. Now that's three different pump and dumps in a row, and all you had to do is pick one. Or let's just say you were dump and pump biased and you wanted to trade the dump and pump model. Here's one. Here's another. Peak, peak, backside, higher highs. This one took a little bit longer to manifest, but if you took this trade, especially for today, uh, um, there was opportunities for a range expansion, 50, 75 pips worth of profit. Range expansion from the high to the low. As you can see, this one gave at least two full expansions. It's a breakout. We also had a first green day signal yesterday, just to prove that I'm not just randomly placing peak formations all over the place. If it's a 3-day setup, you'll get a signal day. If you're following the weekly template, you can just look for 3-session setups. Monday opening range, Tuesday initial balance, range expansion. Wednesday is the textbook 3-day setup day, which we technically, this is a 3-day setup, but it is not the normal textbook 1, 2, 3. Thursday is the range reversal day or the range expansion day, either or. And Friday could also be a 3-day setup day, which if we see here, Wednesday 1, Thursday 2, Friday is R3, but this ended up being 4 days because Friday was our signal day. And they dragged this out all the way until Monday to complete the pattern. That is how I know to target these highs or this area here, because this is where the dump began. And this is a 1, 2, 3. So I can pull any chart up. Gold, as a matter of fact, GU just gave a nice 3-day pattern. And they went back or near where the pump began. Now, if you were not trading Asia or London, uh, this may not have been a good opportunity for you. But if I go back, now we just got, or we just came off of a textbook Monday low, Tuesday high, Wednesday collapse. And I get this question, well, how do I look for 3-day setups? You can just wait for Wednesday and Friday. But most of you guys are not going to do that. I already know that for a fact because most traders are trying to trade every day. So instead, what I would offer or suggest is that you master this pattern, you do your homework, master this pattern for 3-day and 3-session opportunities, and you only hunt for this pattern, whether that's 3-day or 3-session, because right off of the bat here, what do I see? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There was 1, 2, 3, 4 pump and dump models back to back, and all you had to do is pick one. There was two for London, and two for New York. And there was one bigger 3-day pattern here. So really five. But it's this pattern right here. This right here. This is what I'm looking for. That's it. It can be a first red day. It can be a closing breakout signal. It can be an inside day. Or it can just be your textbook Monday to Wednesday, as you can see here. But I am counting to 3 every single time without fail. And for instance, gold is actually my favorite pair. If I cannot count to 3, guess what I am doing? Absolutely nothing. Now, that is easier said than done. Now, I'm mentoring quite a few students, and some of the newer students, they want to work. They want to work hard. And here's my answer. If I cannot count to 3, 1, 2, if I can't count to 2, I'm not even looking at that chart. And if I don't possibly have higher highs on the inside, and I can already say, how is that a higher high on the inside? When the market breaks out and fails, as soon as they break structure, that is your higher high on the inside for the dump and pump. Back where? Back where the dump began. TP1, TP2 for a larger target. Gold looks pretty nice. And we're heading into the US Open. Now, I'm not saying buy gold, but this is a pattern that I would be all over, quite literally, because I can count to 3, dump and pump. Now, if I could not count to 3, unfortunately, this is something that I would not trade. Let's go to another pair. Whoops, excuse me. I'm pretty sure the indexes are not that clean right now. Let's do the US 30. US 30 actually gives me a 1, 2, 3. You should be able to identify 1, 2, 3 right off of the bat. 1, 2. These are possibly the lower lows for the 3. Now, we may not even have enough time for them to manifest this pattern completely. New York Open opens in 5 minutes, actually. But this pattern is inside of a larger range. So I actually do take that into consideration. I want daily levels triggered, possibly weekly levels triggered. I want to be at or near these levels to enter the market because once again, that is actually one of my most asked questions. Entries, entries, entries. And some of you may be underwhelmed for from excuse me. Some of you may be underwhelmed because you want me to tell you something like a mathematical formula with 20,000 steps for your entry. Instead, I'm just going to draw up one pattern that I always look to trade. My entry will be here. My stop loss is not the wick. My stop loss is actually the body. I'm a little bit more aggressive when it comes to entries. I will actually place my stop loss behind the body, and that does not matter what time frame. It can be the 15-minute, it can be the 3-minute, the 1 minute, the 1 hour. What I'm seeing here is actually a possible larger dump and pump, which is why it's essential to zoom out. Step 1, step 2, higher highs for the dump and pump back where? Back where that dump started. Because of the 3 things that markets do. breakout, pullback, and trend, breakout, fail, and reverse, or stay in the trading range. Now, I actually don't know what's going to happen here. That's the craziest part. They could complete this pattern or not. But what I will do is manage my risk efficiently, minimize my losses to a maximum. And whenever I can count to three, I will just take the trade, whether that's a win or loss. Now, my probabilities has been, or my win probability has been increasing more and more and more because I'm looking for clean patterns. Now, just in my opinion, this is not super clean. I would possibly sit out on this day mainly because this pattern does not it's not aesthetically pleasing to my actual playbook. I have a playbook full of these patterns, full of these setups, and if I just scroll through all of these pairs today, you should be able and actually let's draw our model here. I I'm gonna be looking for a pump and dump model. You should be able to easily identify this model and easily count to three, whether that's 3 days or 3 sessions, easily, and be able to scroll through your pairs on any given day, Monday to Friday, and say, nope, this is a no. This was a larger 3 day pattern, so this was actually a yes if you were available in Asia or London. Same with gold, but gold is dumping and pumping currently. No, no. Mm, this is a dump and pump. I actually meant to put this in my watch list for a potential larger pattern. We have a P formation high on Thursday. They may have finally locked in the low on Monday, but just for instance, we get step one, step two, backside, higher highs on the inside. For our step three, our minimum target will be back where that dump began. Maximum target could be the breakout level or the closing price, which they have met that target. You walk away from the screen because the only thing to do from here is to rinse and repeat. Do it again. Now, this is where traders can self-sabotage, give their profits back. You get a good trade, but give your profits back. I was actually stuck in that limbo for at least a year and a half, almost 2 years. Get a good trade and give it right back. But now, if I get a good trade, I will first mark off my peak formation, step one, step two. Now, sometimes it's more than 3 sessions. Yes, I know. But it will be the same 3 steps every single time. One, two, three. Or, your one could be down here too. So this is actually discretionary. It really depends if you're looking for a larger 3 day pattern. One, two, lower lows on day three. This is actually one of the biggest questions I get. What about the lows? Um, should I look for them on day two? I got lower lows on day two, and I traded the high of day, and then they stopped me out. That's because I need lower lows on day three, not day two. I need lower lows on day three, or session three, or hour three for my setup, for my trade to present. And just scrolling down my watch list or my pairs, I should easily be able to identify something like this. One, two, three. And once again, my playbook reflects this. I have a gazillion of these in my playbook. Um, most of these majors actually presented the same opportunity. One, two, three. This is the New Zealand dollar. Got a collapse in Asia. This is actually one of the cleaner patterns because they broke out and stayed out. So we can expect a very clean template for the week. They also triggered the previous weekly low. So this could be a volatile week at that. But I'm just looking for the same pattern over and over and over and over and over and over and over. If you cannot understand what I just said, you will never understand entries. Because when it comes to entering the market, it's because I'm looking for the same setup. Sometimes it gets set up differently, aesthetically, but it's the same one, two, three steps. Look at this bullpen hammer here. It's a nail and bail, but that's free cash. That's a free 10, 15, 20 pips back to the high. And then guess what? It's going to be a free 50, 75, 100 pips the next time. Back to the high or back to the low. Let's see. I've been watching DJ 30 like a hawk. Nas is 3 day long. Nas is on the backside. Let's see. NASDAQ, nasty Nas. Oh yeah, we did get the New York Open. Um, peak formation low, which would actually be the day before, and high in Asia. The lower lows were in London. And guess where they pulled back to? The high bull, the peak formation high, and a maximum target, or excuse me, a minimum target could be the closing price or Friday's low. But just to tell you, because so many traders are so hasty to trade, this is not a variation that I would like to look for. And why? As a matter of fact, can someone put in the chat box why this is something potentially that I will not trade? Does anyone know why? Let me see if anyone knows. Not super clean. We were inside, no day two, ranging, range. I'm gonna give a more specific answer after you guys' answer, but all of you guys' answer is good. The specific answer, because NASDAQ is a New York trading pair, the specific answer is because I did not get a peak formation high in London. London did not give me a peak formation high. They stayed inside. So that's a super red flag for me for New York because I need a Asia peak formation low, a London peak formation high, and the third period, third session, third day, third hour, I need lower lows, which sometimes they will actually pull back to the high bull. They won't always do that. Sometimes it's just a 1, 2, 3, 15 to 45 minutes of pullback for a collapse on the backside back to where the pump began. Just to put some insight on specifics, I'm looking for specifics. And if I do not get those specifics, I will not participate. I do not care how much it moves. I don't care how clean it is. I actually this could actually turn around. Peak formation high in the first hour. They could be locking in the low the second hour. And as soon as that third hour opens up, they just start auctioning back up. And people will call that random. But for the session, it's a 1, 2. three for the session. We're still above the previous day's high. We're still above closing price. We still have daily levels that are acting as major levels of support. And they should not be if this was clean, 930 should not be doing what they're doing now. They gave a clean 50 pips, and they are now somewhat reversing or about to engulf the low bear, which they've actually already retested the peak formation low. They did not close below it. They didn't even close inside of it. So this is a red flag for me. But what will I do? I will instead look for pairs that gave me my step two in London because I trade New York. My step two needs to be in London, so I will go find that or walk away. This is the hardest part for traders to do. Us as human beings, we're very stubborn, very ignorant, and we want to fight all the time. We want to fight to be right. There's no need to fight at all. There is a huge difference from allowing the market to set up than forcing the market to do your will. Let me go to a clean 3 session setup. Here's the best part about hunting one setup. You will remember the last time it set up. And that should be a textbook example for you to refer to. And a lot of the times they go back and forth. Look at the Euro Yen last Monday. This is a clean dump and pump template, very clean. Uh, and there was also a pin hammer on the 15-minute, the 5-minute, the 3-minute. The 15-minute also did not trade until the third hour. Wink, wink, third hour. Traders could have entered this pin, entry, stop loss, take profit. Traders could have got on a smaller time frame and finessed a tighter risk to reward. But point of the matter, this is a 1, 2, 3. And then they turn around and give another 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Now lower lows in Asia for the pump, engulf, dump setup. This is the Dracula house mansion pattern. The Dracula house mansion pattern, the question I keep getting, even in the general chat, does it have to be on the backside? Yes. What am I actually looking for, though? I'm looking for a peak formation high. I'm looking for a lower low and a pump back into the peak formation high for my setup. If I want to keep it specific, this is my entry model right here. This could be over 3 hours, 3 sessions, 3 days. If I do not get this, there is no trade. There is nothing to do. There are plenty of opportunities every single week, every single month, every single day. But can you wait and sit on your hands for a 90-10 textbook, very clean, very obvious pump and dump or dump and pump? Or are you going to gamble? Are you going to trade because you quote unquote feel like it's going to do something? You think it's going to do something, but you don't have a rinse and repeat process. That's the main thing that I've noticed that I've transformed with my process. It's rinse and repeat now. My setups, my playbook, it's rinse and repeat. They all look the same. My trades look the same. My process is the same. My outcome, whether I win or lose, is the same. So my question to you traders is, what do you like to see on the chart? Is it a pump and dump? 3 days, 3 sessions? Look at this. This is Euro Yen. We have a high, a low. and a backside higher high for the dump engulfing, which you could have entered any of these candles. Pump setup back where? Back where the dump started. Then they gave us higher highs and reset that process. 1, 2, backside, 3. So this is a pattern within a pattern. Do not counter trend day one runners. But how can I identify this? Because I still get that question. If you do not understand the three things that markets do, it will be very difficult for you to trade these markets. This is not anything but a breakout, pullback, continuation over 3 days. It takes 3 days for these to set up. Breakout, pullback trend, breakout, fail, reverse, or they will actually stay in a trading range. But even the trading ranges, we're looking for range reversals in a trading range, even still. So again, my question to you traders, what setup are you hunting? And don't say a signal day, because that's actually not the answer that I'm looking for. The answer I'm looking for is either a pump and dump or a dump and pump. The signal days point you in the direction of these patterns that could potentially present. Funny enough, all of the signal days will lead to either a pump and dump or a dump and pump template. And just to clear things up even more, let's go to gold. And I'm emphasizing this because this is my most asked question. You can just slap an EMA on your chart, go to your preferred entry time frame, whether that's 15-minute, 30-minute, 5-minute, 3-minute. We're still above the EMA. And mind you, I do not care about my results. I care about my process. I actually I'm in this trade. And I entered this pin hammer here. My stop loss is behind the hammer for 15 pips. Now I'm gonna target 100 pips because that's usually what I target on gold. I just take my 100 pips and I'm gone. Um, we'll see how this plays out. But I have a 1, 2, 3 dump and pump model, the same model that I looked for last week, the same model that I traded last week 4 times.
Whole thing.
Hello?
Man, dog. No better going than this.
I could have sworn I pressed the
Man,
go. Okay, I guess he doesn't know it's 9:45, but just in general, once again, I am looking for the same exact patterns over and over, whether it's the micro, we have a peak formation. They broke out, failed to go lower, or backside of the dump, they gave higher highs. It could be the macro, peak formation high in Asia, peak formation low in London, higher highs on the inside New York session for the dump and pump template. This could actually still continue lower, but am I worried about that? I am not. And here's why. Because all I'm doing is counting to 3. I am very transparent. I show losses. I actually take quite a few losses. I take a lot of losses at that. But I still end my weeks profitable. And how do I do this? Because I'm keeping my losses to a minimum, step 1. Step 2, I keep my losses to a minimum, 15 pips. Step 3, my losses are a minimum. Those 3 steps are how I am able to be profitable by the end of the week. Keeping my losses to a minimum. 20 pips stop max, 25 pips stop max. 2 to 3 trades a day. That is it. And even if I am over trading, because in my opinion, over trading is a myth, because I actually did scale an account from very small to very large, and I technically over traded the entire time. But why did I not blow the account? That is because I kept all of my losses to a minimum relative to my account. Let's see. Will a copy of the recording be shared after Zoom meeting? Yes. Um, I have a trustee recording. Uh, he will most definitely send me the copy. And then I will post it so you guys can rewatch. But we have 15 minutes left in this hour. I will answer any and all questions for the last 15 minutes. I am very thankful for all that has came in this live session. Very thankful for you all. Any and all questions?
Hey, question.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, man? Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, I'm fairly new to your channel, and
Mm-hmm.
I find you through Stacy Burke, trading method, obviously. But I was wondering, if I did like a coaching call with you, like what does that look like? Do you
Uh,
go over specific things, or?
yeah. It is different every trader, because every trader has, some have 5 years, some are brand new.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, some actually already know what they want. Some they come to me and the first thing they ask is entries. Some of them are
Yeah.
okay. It's not, I get the concepts, but I get too scared, or my process is not simple enough. So it just depends on the trader.
Okay.
But every coaching call, I go over the same exact principles, and that is the
Okay.
1, 2, 3, the pump and dump and pump, trend trades, reversal trades, etc.
Okay.
Um,
Perfect.
it is catered to the trader specifically.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. You're welcome. And let's see how long did it take you to rewire your brain? That is a good question. Now, I did start Stacy Bird Concepts 3 years ago, actually. So I would actually say it took me 3 years, but when I started doing the right things, I would say it took me maybe 60 days. Maybe, when I started doing the right things. It didn't take that long. As a matter of fact, I have a few students. I have a student in particular, AC Johnson. He has not been with me that long. I showed him the templates. I showed him the rinse and repeat process, and he took it and ran. And he's been trading the same exact setups since then. Now, from there, the trader is actually the variable. From there, um, your success is all catered to you yourself. Can you actually stick to one thing for 30 days in a row? Challenge yourself to do that. How you keep your loss minimum. Um, I don't
You
aggressively.
get tired of losing.
That too.
For real, bro. You get tired of losing, man.
Yep. And doing the wrong things that you weren't supposed to be doing.
Yeah. We talk about that all the time, bro.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Shit.
This is Musa, everyone.
Yeah.
This is who I had that discussion with last week. I meant to get with you yesterday, but I was adjusting the ebook. Uh,
Oh, it's cool, bro. It's cool.
but
Ain't
yeah,
ain't no biggie.
yes, sir.
We'll get up together this weekend.
Yes, sir. But me and Musa, we talk. We share our weeks. I actually suggest you guys find a accountability partner. If you don't have one, ask for one in the chat, in the Discord. Partner up with someone. At the end of the week, discuss your trades and ask each other, was it a pump and dump? 1, 2, 3. Was it a dump and pump? 1, 2, 3. If it wasn't those two, the both of you have some discussing to do. What did you do wrong? What could have you done better? Was it your patience? Was it push-ups? That's a good thing. Did you work out? Um, my trade is actually succeeding. I was actually looking to see if they was gonna break out. Now, if they break out and close, I have even more confidence. Now, I am currently going to break even as I speak. I'm going to break even. Um, one sec. Yeah. Currently at break even. Um, the fact that I was able to do this and still talk to all of you guys, now I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying this because my process is so simple. It's so rinse and repeat. I could be doing anything. I could be eating still. I could be doing push-ups. I could be talking to 50 people and I can still just briefly check. Do I have my one? Do I have my two? Do I have my three? And if so, I will wait for a pullback. I will put the EMA on the chart because I get this question a lot. Entries, entries. I will slap the EMA on my chart. I will either get in on a retest of the EMA or a engulfment off of the EMA. It really doesn't matter. I also use the major round numbers as confluence. I want to get in near double zeros or near 50. Now, I do not teach the major round numbers, and I will not teach the major round numbers because trade is overcomplicated, and I understand why and how. I remember my first time putting the major round numbers on my chart. Now, if you want to learn how to use the major round numbers, I suggest you just put it on your chart and learn how to not use it to read the chart because I'm not using it to read the chart. I'm specifically using it as a stop loss reference, wink, wink, or a take profit reference, wink, wink. So if I get in at double zeros, guess what? I'm targeting double zeros. That's an easy 100 pips. If I get in at 50, I'm targeting 50. That's an easy 100 pips. That's what I do. I don't care about catching the full move. 50 to 100 pips is just fine. As a matter of fact, I trade live. Yes, I have funded accounts, but I trade live. I load up a live account, whether that's a few hundred or a few thousand. And by the end of that day or week, depending on how good the setup is, I will withdraw those funds and put it in my bank account because I do not care about building my trading account. I care about building my bank account because I can't blow it if it's in my bank. I can blow it if it's in my trading account. I was always a risk savvy trader. So risk was always something that I was never scared of. But what was my problem? My problem was over leveraging. That was my biggest demon in trading. Now, what did I do to solve that? Or what was the process that I had to talk myself into? That was one, withdrawing often, very often at that. And two, trading with less money. You do not need a $1 million account to make a living in trading. Um, and if you want proof of that, just look at me. I don't trade with a lot of money, and I am not scared to say that. I will load up a $1,000 account. For instance, I did that this week. I have $1,000 in my account currently, and I am currently up $800 in this trade. I am risking 200, well, excuse me, actually $150 because I have a 15 pip stop. But I am about to double this account already. And guess what I am about to do when this TP gets hit? Get answer. Someone put it in the chat. Guess what I'm gonna do when this TP gets hit?
Withdraw.
Withdraw. Exactly. Take the money. I'm going to have a fantastic breakfast. I'm gonna go out, get some chicken and waffles. I'm gonna spend that money because it's nothing for me to come back and do the same thing with the same setup. So, if there are no other questions, um,
I've got a question.
yes, sir.
Um, so on gold, the last couple of days, there's been a couple of I feel like there's been a few signals. So like we had a first red day, and then we had a false break reversal in the Asian session. And I was looking at that false break reversal, which I happened to get in on at the highs. I took an early trade, but y do you find like I'm a bit confused because you're mainly looking at the dump and pump template. That's what you're looking at. But do you think that that conflicts at all with other setups, or how are we supposed to process that?
Um, so to simplify your question, are you saying if I get a first red day signal, could they give me something else?
Yeah, because we had like two inside sessions in a row and a false break reversal in between. And it just felt quite confusing to read it because there was so much going on. And then over the top of that, when I seen your post today saying it was as simple as one, two, three, pump and dump, then I'm thinking, well, what template was I supposed to be looking at? There's so much going on in that
Okay,
chart.
that's a good question. That's actually a good question. So, um, I boil it down to two types of setups. It's either 3 session or 3 day. Um, Now I actually suggest traders to zoom out and wait for the 3 day pattern because it does require patience, and you can always start from Monday. So for example, if I get a Monday low and a Tuesday high and they trigger the high on Wednesday, that's potentially one or two things happening. One is they're putting in a new peak formation and they retest it and then they give the trade, or they will go higher and keep going higher and keep going higher. So I have to restart my account. So instead of it being Monday to Wednesday, I am now looking for Tuesday to Thursday or Wednesday to Friday or Thursday to Monday or Friday
Gotcha.
to Tuesday. So that's the
Yeah.
3 day. Um, that's the process for 3 day setups. 3 session setups, same thing. Because this is what I do. I actually can care less about the 3 day patterns, but since I have so many of them in my playbook, since I've studied so many of them, every Wednesday and Friday, I zoom out to look and I look and see, is there a 3 day pattern? And I will just trade that using the 3 session setup. One, two, backside, three. Now this was NFP, which they actually completed the trade with the news. I was buying down low and I ended up getting stopped out. But what did they do the very next day? I'm always looking at the most recent peak formations for that session. So if I'm trading Asia, I need to look at London and New York's peak formations. So London, excuse me, gave me a peak formation high. New York gave me a peak formation low. There's my step one, my step two. Step three, higher highs on the inside, on the backside for the dump and pump. But this was a nail and bail because this market is already on the backside of the week. The larger price action. They broke out and failed, broke structure, pulled back, and continued. Now, simply to answer your question, I am not reading the chart, but I am taking into consideration of the three things the markets do. They will break out, pull back, and trend. This is a trend trade setup, a dump and pump setup that, funny enough, my students called this out. We were live on this day, and I told them, I don't like gold. It's clean. This is actually a clean dump and pump, but I don't like it. I'm pretty sure some of them took it. This is a very clean 1, 2, 3. And at the time, I would have rather preferred something cleaner during the US session, but it still ended up playing out nonetheless. But they were able to call this out um, using the 1, 2, 3, using the three things that markets do: breakout, pullback, trend, or markets will break out, fail, and reverse. Notice how these setups were back to back. So I suggest, this all starts when you decide to pick one setup, but it will not start until you decide to pick a singular setup, whether that's pump and dump or dump and pump. Because if I go back, let's just say I'm only trading pump and dumps on gold. Let's just go back and see how many of them were there the past few weeks, actually. We'll start here. So right off the bat, we get a closing breakout signal, which closing breakout is actually a 2-day pattern. You can get a 2-day pump and dump or dump and pump pattern. A 1, 2, 3. Now, this entire week, funny enough, I was getting DMs this whole week. What do you think about gold on Tuesday? Trash. What do you think about gold on Wednesday? Trash. What do you think about gold on Thursday? It's a bank holiday. Super trash. Um, I am not trying to read the price action. I specifically did not get my 1, 2, 3. And you can even a kid, a 10-year-old can look at this chart and tell me that these are not this or this. And also, a 10-year-old can also tell me the only day we got one of these two was actually on Friday, Free Cash Friday, peak formation high, peak formation low. New York retested the peak formation low after the higher highs on the inside, and they gave a banger dump and pump trade on Free Cash Friday after 1, 2, 3 days of breakout traders signal. So I'm still looking for signal days. If you're having trouble about the chaos, just focus on the signal days. That's the best bet that any trader can do.
Yeah.
Just focus on the signal days. Because closing breakout signal, what do we get? A 2-day pump and dump pattern. 3 days of breakout traders, what do we get? A 3-session setup on that day. And then funny enough, the very next day, they did the same exact thing. Now this looks aesthetically different, but the process is exactly the same. Step 1, step 2, backside, higher highs for the dump and pump. Back where? Back where the dump started. And then if traders were paying even more attention, because this market is breaking down, we're getting lower lows consecutively. The peak formation high is already put in place. This is a bigger 1, 2, 3 setup. But you got to pick a side first. Traders are trying to do both. I was trying to do both for the longest. And then I got a quantum shift. I quite literally had a quantum shift when I finally decided, okay, I don't care about pump and dumps. It's dump and pump this entire week. Or I don't care about dump and pumps. It's pump and dumps the entire week. Rinse and repeat the entire week. I don't care how good the dump and pump will look or looks. I will trade the pump and dump only. I will go short only. Now, my first mentor used to say stuff like this. His name was Rox FX. He would tell us this. And was a beginner trader. Here was my thoughts. Oh, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna be better than him. Oh, that doesn't make sense. I'm not gonna do that. Why are traders not listening to traders that have at least 5 to 10 years of experience? They're actually telling you the truth. Risk management is key. Uh, Keeping it simple is key. And keeping it simple is actually discretionary. Here's a larger pump and dump. And then here's the larger dump and pump, which I was actually able to take part of. I didn't take it all the way back to the highs. I took the 3 session trade here, the peak formation, backside, higher highs, dump and pump template, which this was a larger dump and pump template back to where the dump began. Notice how when the target was hit, what did they do? The session, this New York session, the 3rd session after 3 levels of rise, they gave a pump and dump template. It's tiny, but it was there. They gave a peak formation high, and then they retested that peak formation high. And then they went where? Back to where the pump or higher level longs, where that pump began, the pin hammer. 1, 2, backside, lower lows, 3. I am consistently looking for the mansion, the Dracula, Castlevania pattern. So in order for me to keep it simple, this is exactly what I do. Every question will it this will it will be the same answer. Every question will result to this or this. Not being so serious. It's either a pump and dump template for that session, for that day, for that week, or a dump and pump template for that day, session, or week. And all you have to do is pick one. Stop trying to trade the market. Stop trying to read the chart. Now, that is easier said than done. I had to, that's a bad habit that I had to rewire myself to stop doing. Because what do traders do when they first start trading? They start reading or trying or attempting to read the chart. Oh, where's it gonna go? I think it's gonna go here. I think it's gonna go there. Oh, I think it's gonna pull back here. Oh, I think it's gonna do that. Instead of looking for a specific setup only. Funny enough, it doesn't even have to be Stacy Bird concepts. I was scrolling through YouTube yesterday. There was a trader that trades quarterly theory. There was a trader that trades ICT. And then there was a trader that just trades head and shoulders. And you know what pattern that I seen in all 3 of those videos? I seen this in all 3 of them. The ICT guy said, oh, there's going to be a fair value gap somewhere right here. The head and shoulders pattern trader said, oh, just look for the breakout and the failure. The what do you call this? The neckline. And then the quarterly theory trader, they're using time and true opens and true closes. But funny enough that they're looking for the same. We are all trading the same, or at least the good traders. We're all looking for the same stuff. This is literally the only thing the market can do. Pump for a dump or dump for a pump. Trend trades, reversal trades. And all 3 of those traders had different terminology. But all three of those traders, which I will post the screenshots in the general chat so you guys can see I'm not just talking. All three of those traders had this same model in the video. All three. So I will say once again, all of the questions will result in one or two things. It's either a dump and pump or a pump and dump. And as far as entering these trade setups, you're either waiting for the higher high and the pullback for the continuation, or the lower low for the pullback for the continuation. And that is it. In my opinion, that is the true essence of entries. Entering the same setup, not just entering 3, 4, 5 different trades, 5 different scenarios, and that all 5 of those trades look different and behave differently. Same setup, same pattern, same entry. Look at my gold trade. Oh, we're already on gold. Whoops. Bang. As a matter of fact, I might just move my TP where? To where this dump began. But what will I do? I will take the money at 100 pips because this is actually what it's all about, taking the money and not doing anything stupid in between. That's easier said than done once again. But
Dow Jones was a good one too.
Dow Jones,
Yes. Yeah.
DJ 30. Oh, yeah. It's bleeding.
Well, if you need to go out there and take the fire signature. You know, I don't mark up the peak formation and the highs. I just can see the stuff on the chart, but
Yes,
it's
sir.
the
Yes,
same
sir.
thing. See, you
Yes,
fire off
sir.
emails about goddamn fire signatures and safety lights. But I ain't taking it. I'm busy at work, right? But it was there. Plus, I'm on the call.
Oh, you're good. You're good. One sec. Let me try to figure out who that is. Or is that you, Musa? Oh no, here we go.
Yeah, that's me. That's me,
No,
Miss.
no, that was someone else in the background. Okay, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I'm, I'm, I'm at I'm at work. You heard that's why.
okay. Oh, no, 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 no. It was someone else in here. But yeah, Musa, we've been studying Stacy for longer than 3 years. We remember when Stacy was just he wasn't even talking about the peak formations back then. I mean, he was, but even back then it was pump and dump or dump and pump. Now, the one thing me and Musa do that is very similar, we do a lot of things that is very similar, but the main thing is that we will look at the major round numbers. Me and Musa, we're just trying to sell high in a 100 pip box or buy low in a 100 pip box. We will use the quarter levels also as well for levels of support or resistance. And just like Musa stated, after a while, you don't even have to count. You don't have to all of that stuff doesn't matter. It's either pumping for a dump or dumping for a pump. And even a 10-year-old can spot this. This is pumping for a dump. And I don't mean to say that in a rash way. I'm saying that because my 10-year-old cousin, Layla, is actually she's actually learning at a much faster rate than I expected. If I showed her this chart and I asked her to mark off the 1, 2, 3, she would go just like that. 1, 2, 3. And I would ask her, what is this? And she would say a pump and dump template. And I would ask her which one. She would say a 3 session. Let's see, I guess there's an entry at the middle structure of the M at the high of the day. Oh no, we're not picking tops. That's what I'm not doing. I don't care about picking, I don't care about being first. You should not even be trading the Dow Jones before 9:30 anyway. Any index, you should not be trading before 9:30 because we didn't know if they were going to do that. There's a level right here. We didn't know that. But once it's confirmed on the backside, once we are on the backside, then we will look for our lower low. They will pull back. They should give a pin hammer somewhere. Entry, stop loss. TPs could be closing price or the low of the day. Rinse and repeat. Easy money. But I am not picking tops or bottoms ever. I stopped doing that a long time ago.
Same here. Stop doing that. Just wait
Like,
until after 9:30, bro.
yep. Wait till 9:30. Also give them two more confluences for them. What else could they do?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. What else could they do?
Oh shoot. Basically, like for me, I'm just waiting until after 9:30. You know what I mean? That third hour. Then for me, it's just I'm looking at the major round numbers for my entries, and then just inside of that 3 hour window, man, from 9:30 to 10:45. That's it for me.
Mm-hmm. Y'all hear
That's it.
it?
That's
Now,
it. And you gotta remember now, I'm doing this at work too as well. So, I
mhm.
have to my process has to be very, very simple. You know what I mean? Because I get busy and then I done blew up a lot of accounts, guys. I'm not even gonna lie to you. You know what I mean? Like I've taken, like I told Snipe, you know what I mean? Like for me, I always thought and I trade futures, so I don't do no more Forex. So and I started account with $125, maybe $150 on futures. Because I mainly trade NASDAQ and like the Dow. So if you're gonna trade the Dow, you know what I mean, it moves 50 cents. So it gives you a little bit more wiggle room for your stop loss. So my stop loss for the NASDAQ is 20 points and the Dow is 20 points. So with the NASDAQ 20 points, that's a $40 loss. And I'm aiming for a $100 take 100 point move. So you're risking 40 to make 200. All right. So that's 5 times your risk. So
Mm.
I've grown an account, you know what I mean, on my future side from $125 to like 500 in 2 days. And got busy at work and I blew the sucker up just FIFOing and just trying to get trades in. But like I told you guys before, like I posted in the chat, you know what I mean, it's 7 months, you know what I mean, left. We got 2 quarters left in the year. And right now, my thing is just to focus on the process. Just like Jeremiah, like I said, we talk about this stuff on the weekend. And, I don't care how much the account get built up to, but I do have a compound plan where I can take $100, 150, whatever, to 100K in 5 months. And it basically is just doubling an account every 2 weeks. And it's basically off 10 pips, 10 points a day, 50 points a week. So as you guys can see, you can catch 50 points trading any index, you know what I mean? And like what Jeremiah did, the gold trade, which I seen that trade there too at home, but that was your 150 points right there. So basically you done for like 3 days. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Really 3 weeks. But that's where
Yep.
the discipline gonna come in at to not to trade again. And like I say, like 2 weeks ago, I passed the top step account just to trade it in 3 days. So the stuff that's Snipe teaching and stuff that we learned from Stacy, the stuff works, you guys. It's just like Stacy and everybody always says, just us, the trader, is the variable that messes everything up. All we got to do is just sit back and wait and just be patient and just allow the setups to come to us. And what I mean, we'll succeed at this skill set, man, because like I say, it's clear as day. Like I say, for me, I don't mark up the peak formations or none of that, but me and Jeremiah, like he said, we do the same thing, guys. Like if anybody ever watched my YouTube channel, this is the same stuff I was talking about for since I found Stacy. Like my actual first trade that I learned from Stacy was the 1, 2, 3 to the low. And I actually had a recording of me passing my Forex fund because I wanted to see if it worked, if he knew what he was talking about. All right. It was a 1, 2, 3 to the low on GU at the time. It was like a 3 hour trade, but I held it and passed the challenge in like one day. And I was like, you know what? This dude know what he's talking about. And then he started coming along with the signal days and all that. And then, we just start learning more information, but we don't need a lot of information when it really comes to this skill set. So like Jeremiah said, like this simple process that he has, You know what I mean? It's very simple and it's just simple to, you know what I mean? It's just like the same thing that I'm basically doing. I just, like I say, I can identify market structure because like guys, I've paid for mentors, demo for like a whole year, you know what I mean? And I be in the charts. So, you know what I mean? For me, like, I do know what I be doing, what I'm doing, but it's just, we get that greed. And but at some point, like I said earlier, you just get tired of losing, man. You know what I mean? Especially when you put your hard-earned money into this thing, you just get tired of losing and you know you can do it. So, just don't always look at trading as a positive aspect. And like I said, I also follow a guy named Kyle Williams who last month lost $140,000 in like 3 weeks. You know what I mean? I done seen a dude lose 300,000, 380,000 for the month and come back the next month and hit for like 200,000. So, and all he trade is pump and dumps.
Man.
So, so you
Man.
guys just, like it's everybody trades pump and dumps. That's like you said, it's either pump and dump or what I mean, dump and pump, or it's like they say, it's two type of trades. It's either gonna go up or it's gonna go down, trend or reversal. That's it. You just gotta pick one, and that's what me and Jeremiah talked about this weekend. It's like what last week, he picked one, I picked me one that I do, and that's all each and every one of us have to do. Just pick one setup and just stick to it and, manage your risk. Like I say, no matter what I'm trading, what I mean, it's 20 points. You know what I mean? That's it. It's 20 points, but I'm looking to make five times that. So
Hmm.
you guys got it, man. So, I say just continue to, take heed from what Jeremiah is teaching you guys and don't deviate from the process and just find a way to make it work for you. You know what I'm saying? That's the best thing you could do because like even with myself and Jeremiah and Stacy, everybody can show you, what I mean, step by step what to do. But at the end of the day, each individual has their own eyes on how to identify the setup and what they're comfortable with taking. And
Hmm.
that's all you guys got to do. You know what I mean? Is just stick to that process and you definitely will accomplish the goal. And like you said, you don't need a lot of money in these accounts, guys. That's why I always just put $150 in an account because you can grow it quickly. You know what I'm saying? So you don't need a big account. And that's the thing people have to get out of their mindset is that I need more money. No, the more money you got, the more money you're gonna lose. You know what I
Correct.
mean? And then that's gonna make you man, this trading thing don't work, so but just stick to the process, stick to what Jeremiah is teaching you guys. And even if you watch my YouTube channel, what I'm showing you, because I ain't showing you nothing different than what he's doing anyways, and same thing that Stacy's doing. And
Mm.
you guys will get out on top. We got this, guys. You know what I mean? 7 months left in the year, 2 quarters. You could do a lot of damage with that. All
Hmm.
right. So let's take advantage of it.
Correct. I appreciate that, Musa.
No
Um,
problem, bro.
yes, sir. 1% better each day. That's all we're aiming to do. Um, it's just like I'm gonna add on to what he said because some of you are gonna get my ebook and be underwhelmed about how little I talk about entries. And my only answer to that is if I got deep into that, all that is gonna do is cause even more confusion. Okay, well, which one is it, Snipe? Is it this one? Is it that one? What do I do here? What do I do there? I'm just telling you to do one thing only. And that was my biggest problem, which I know it's for sure, most definitely a lot of people's problem. Just doing one thing. If you cannot do that one thing, and I'm not being harsh by saying this, but you might as well start finding another hustle because this one is going to be taking your money. I'm not saying to stop trading, but this one most definitely will be taking money from you. Let's see. Moose's channel is GCB Trading. Uh, capital G, capital C, capital B Trading. Yep, yep,
Yeah, you just put in GCP trading, the same as the name on there. It's the same thing.
yep, yep. The more money and that's why I don't really trade with a lot of money because I know I had a problem with that. It's a self-development journey. I come from poverty. I don't come from a lot of money. I have a very big family, so we were literally eating noodles and hot dogs on a daily. Um, So when I started getting a lot of money, it felt very uncomfortable. I didn't know what to do with it. I just kept blowing it. I could get the money easily, no matter what I was doing. But for some reason, the money kept leaving me. That was my own issue. That had nothing to do with the market or my setup or my trades. That was me. So after you guys do the work on the chart, you got to do the work within yourself because there's always a reason for everything. For every micro action, there is a macro reaction, vice versa. So we are coming to the close of this session. Thank you all for attending. Uh, you you guys can definitely expect another live session this week, whether that be tomorrow or Thursday. So for those that did not get to attend today's, no worries. We'll have another one this week. We'll go over a few pages in the ebook in the next one, just a few, just to kind of showcase what you guys can expect in this ebook. In my opinion, it is exactly what any trader needs: clarity and simplicity. I am not here to confuse any of you. Instead, I am here to showcase what focus looks like throughout this entire ebook. One thing that you can find throughout the entire ebook, whether that's Asia, whether that's London, whether that's New York, is a pump and dump and the same three steps. Even if that's 3 days. Mondays, I'm looking for pump and dumps. Tuesdays, pump and dumps. Wednesdays, pump and dumps. Thursdays, pump and dumps. Fridays, pump and dumps. I'm looking for the same stuff every day, every week, every session. Now, it's not going to set up every day, week, and session, but I will look for the same thing over and over and over so that I can make easy money, rinse and repeat, come back the next 2 days, 3 days, the next week, have fun with my family, spend time with my family because ultimately that is all I care about. The money is going to come and go. I could care less about having $10 million. Now that it would be nice to have $10 million, but what I have is time, and that is much more expensive than anything on this material realm. So I will see you all on our next live session. Thank you all for attending. Um, 1% better. Let's keep it growing. Let's keep it going. Blessings to all of you and your learning and your process. And I will see you all on the next live session. Thank you all.